What's up, guys, and welcome back to Thomas Reacts here on the 360 experience with myself, Thomas Maba. So I want us to look at Build One South Africa and Mmusi Maimane. You know that Build One South Africa is the new party that was formed by Mmusi Maimane after he resigned from the Democratic Alliance. I don't know whether Mmusi Maimane resigned or he was pushed out of the Democratic Alliance. You know that Mmusi Maimane is the man that the Democratic Alliance has once declared as a failed experiment, and Mmusi Maimane never healed from that. He never healed from that, and he went on to open up his new political party. So guys, Mmusi Maimane and his new political party, Build One South Africa, did a anniversary celebration, and on that celebration, Mmusi Maimane used the advantage to actually announce that he is going to run for the presidency of South Africa. So what are your thoughts on Mmusi Maimane? Do you think that Mmusi Maimane can actually has what it takes to become the president of South Africa? I believe that Mmusi Maimane has what it takes. I think he's capable to become to be the president of the country, but I don't think, honestly, I don't think that he's going to become the president of South Africa with this vehicle of Build One South Africa. I don't think that they have enough vote. I don't think that they have enough influence, and I honestly don't think that South Africans are familiar with his own political party. So guys, what are your thoughts on this thing? Because if you remember, when Mmusi Maimane did an interview with Penuel, he said something so interesting that South Africans don't really care about the policies. In South Africa, it's all about the popularity. If you are popular, then you are going to win the votes. He made an example about the African National Congress and President Ramaphosa in 2019. According to Mmusi Maimane, the African National Congress was not popular in 2019, but President Ramaphosa's popularity is actually the one that saved the African National Congress. So he believes that in South Africa, it's only 4 people who will be elected to be the president in 2024. It's either South Africans are going to choose President Cyril Ramaphosa, or South Africans are going to choose John Steenhuisen, Julius Malema, or himself. That's how he measures everything up. So guys, do you believe that Mmusi Maimane with the Build One South Africa, they actually have enough pull to win the presidency in 2024? But
it is far too important for us to roll up our sleeves and get in the ring and fight for this country rather than be spectators sitting outside. I am here to invite all of us as South Africans to say now is the time that all of us get up together and begin to build this great nation of ours.
Man, I feel like Mmusi Maimane should have opened up his own political party a while back, man. I think by now his political party would have grown, because this guy is charismatic, man. Mmusi Maimane is charismatic. I'm telling you, you hear that speech, it reminds me when he was doing that speech. You remember that South Africa is a funny speech. his final rally with the Democratic Alliance, man, it was a fire, man. I really wish Mmusi Maimane had opened up his own political party earlier than now, because I honestly don't believe that in 2024 Mmusi Maimane has enough pull. I believe that Build One South Africa has a great future, granted, but I don't think that for 2024 they are ready to actually do what Mmusi Maimane thinks that Build One South Africa is going to do. But I know that it's 2024 and everyone is trying to sell out to sell their political party to the general public in South Africa. So I think it's a bit sad, man, because I remember even when Mmusi Maimane and Herman Mashaba left the DA, people thought that Mmusi Maimane and Herman Mashaba were going to work together, and that is one combination that people are still asking for. And Mmusi Maimane has been asked this question time and time again, man, why didn't you go and join Action SA? Why didn't you go and fight with Herman Mashaba? Because if you listen to the policies of Build One South Africa and you also listen to the policies of Action SA, they are similar, man. They are similar. There's nothing that's actually stopping these guys from working together. But it seems like right now in South Africa, everyone wants to be a leader. People don't want to follow. You also look at the African National Congress. You remember that wing, that radical economic transformation. Magashule now has his own political party. Even Karl Neers right now has his own political party. And there's a clash right there that is happening, because Magashule, during his announcement of his own political party, he said that him and the ARR members, ARR is the political party of Karl Neers, the ARR executives had an agreement that ARR would remain as a non-profit organization organization, and African Congress for Transformation will then be developed into a political party. But he was very disappointed when he saw Kalnihas registering ARR as a political party, and now he has his own political party. And when you look at both of these guys, they believe in one policies, they believe in, like, all their policies are the same, but no one wants to join the other team. People want people to come to their side. So it seems like in South Africa now we have a problem, because there are a lot of political parties, especially these young political parties. Most of them, they believe in the same policies. Most of them, they have the same values, but it seems like there's something hard there with everybody working together. I even remember this guy from Action SA, but he was once there in the Democratic Alliance. Bongani Baloyi opened up his own political party, Shiluva. He opened up his own political party, Shiluva. Man, I don't think South Africans even know that there's a party called Shiluva right now in South Africa. But you look at Bongani Baloyi and you look at Action SA, you look at Mmusi Maimane, you look like these guys, they believe in the same policies, but why is it so hard for these guys to come together? It makes no sense to me. I honestly don't understand. It's a new phenomenon that I really find it hard to understand, especially when it comes to these smaller political parties, because I thought that these guys would come together. Just imagine, man, just imagine one political party, Hemene Mashaba, Mmusi Maimane, Bongani Baloyi, and that guy from Songeso Zibi. Like, these guys, they can make up a solid political party, but for some reason, these guys are choosing to work separately. So I don't know how it's going to work out for them in 2024. It is going to be very interesting to see how everything is going to work out for these guys in 2024, because personally I believe that these guys could have cut out things they don't like, the values they don't share, but they can be combined by the values that they share. The same thing that was done by the Moon Pact short. You know, the Moon Pact, they always say that things that are actually separating us, we're going to cut them off, and we're going to focus on the policies that are actually bringing us together. This is the same thing that I believe that Mmusi Maimane, Hemene Mashaba, Bongani Baloyi, they should have done, man. I believe by now they would have opened up a solid political party, and with these popular faces in front of everybody, because you know that Mmusi Maimane believes in popularity. He believes that South Africans don't care about the policies. As long as you are popular enough in South Africa, you can become the president of this country. So guys, I don't know, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Am I right or am I wrong by saying that these guys, maybe they should have worked together instead of open up smaller political parties? A lot of political parties, man. Even right now, I was watching Biz News last night. And I saw there's a new political party in South Africa. I forgot the name. Guys, I'm gonna do the reaction video to that, because there's an actual interview with the founder of that political party, and I think it is very interesting to see what is happening right now in South Africa. So I don't like, are these guys actually giving us an alternative, or are they pushing us to the same guys that we are trying to run away from? Are these new guys giving South Africans an alternative, or they are simply pushing us back to the ANC, DA, and the EFF? Because I don't think, guys, I don't think these guys are giving us an alternative, man. And I don't think that right now South Africans believe in this whole thing that they are trying to do. I really hope that they can stick around, so that we're gonna see who's gonna stand the test of time. But for what they are doing right now, they are basically confusing South Africans. Man, can you even think how the ballot is going to look like in 2024? Can you think how the ballot is going to look like in 2024? And the worst part is that now we're going to do 3 papers. So can you, like, it's going to be so confusing to South Africans, because there are going to be so many logos, so many political parties. People are going to be confused. This is the reason why I say that these guys opening up a lot of political parties, it might push people to the same parties that they're trying to run away from. Am I wrong or am I right? What are your thoughts?
As a humble servant of the people of this country, I want to make this declaration. Many have wondered what I've been doing.
Fact.
Many have wondered where we've been. I think Ubuntu summed it up well. But this morning, this afternoon, in this place, Botswana, I am here to declare that I will be running for the President of the Republic of South Africa come 2024. This is what we're about, and we're going to fight. My man.
Oh man, South African politics are so fun, man. South African politics are so fun. Honestly, guys, South African politics are so fun.
worried about where their next job is going to come from, and they think to themselves, this is the only place. They've lost their way. I am here to tell those young people that if 70% of you cannot find a job, one day a BOSA government is coming, and that BOSA government is going to build. Come on.
He's going to build. These guys were supposed to say, when Mmusi Maimane said, he's going to build. These guys were supposed to say, he's going to build one South Africa. Man, that was Mmusi Maimane expected that, man. That whole actually disappointed Mmusi Maimane. Mmusi Maimane expected that. Man. It can't be, man. It can't be that I'm the leader of the political party and I come out and say, BOSA is going to build, and you guys don't say build one South Africa, man. I would be ashamed of every single person in that arena, man. I would be ashamed. Man. But on a serious note, man, I like South Africans, man, are in trouble right now. Because it seems like right now, South Africans, they don't have a choice. But for some reason, to rely on politicians, man, South Africans are running away from DA, ANC, EFF, and they, like the only option they have is another politicians. This is the reason why it is so hard for South Africans, for average South Africans, to trust any of these political parties, especially the new ones, man. If you come out and say, do not vote for the ANC and vote for me, I'm going to provide, we're going to create a conducive environment, the businesses are going to come, young people are going to work, man, people don't trust you, man. This is what the African National Congress has been saying to people throughout the years. So when you come and start saying that you're going to be here and you're going to make sure that young people are working and things like that, man, it's going to be so hard for people to take you serious, because this is one thing that ANC has been saying for such a long time. And I think the ANC has done, I think, a wonderful job on their side by making sure that a lot of people in this country are not interested in voting. Because if you look right now, majority of people who are still interested in voting in South Africa, they still vote for the African National Congress. So they don't care if millions of young people, they don't go to the polls and vote. As long as their base goes there and make sure that the ANC is still in power, they don't care if young people they don't go out there to vote, which is something that I said, that it is not only the job of the opposition parties to make sure that the ANC is no longer in power. If you are an average South African, it is your job too to make sure that you encourage people that you know that they don't care about elections. You encourage them to go to the polls and vote out the African National Congress. Political parties and politicians are not going to do it alone. It is going to be impossible for political parties and politicians to do that thing alone. So if you are serious about taking out the African National Congress, you might as well roll up your own sleeve and get to work. If you don't mobilize people who haven't voted before, if you are not ready to go out there and mobilize the people who haven't voted or people who are not even interested in politics, then you are doing nothing. And you don't have any right to cry when your political party loses in 2024. You heard that? If you don't roll out your sleeves and help your political party, you don't have a right when your political party loses in 2024.
Mmusi Maimane's former political party, the DA, in terms of the kind of things that they're promising, in terms of the policies that they seem to be pushing forward, and the direction and drive and the thrust and narrative of what they want as a political party and what they're actually proposing to the people. And I think that's going to be their biggest, hurdle, is to convince people that they are not DA light, and that they are not a reincarnation of the DA with black people that Mmusi Maimane used to lead.
So guys, I don't know, man. I don't know. What are your thoughts, man, on this whole thing of new political parties? Because I also want us to look at this. There's like this political party I was talking about on Biz News. The new political party, honestly, I don't even know the name. I don't even know the name of that new political party. I don't know that. I don't know the name of that new political party. So I think it was on Biz News, and I think the interview was done recently, man. Yeah, the interview was done recently. I was watching that thing yesterday. So guys, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on so many political parties, man? Are they doing us anything good, man? Are they doing, like, is it helping them? Is it helping them? Is it helping them, man? Because I don't think it is helping them, man. Like you heard that lady, like it's going to be hard for people to think that. It's going to be hard for Build One South Africa to sell the idea that they are not Action SA light. It is they are not DA light. It is honestly going to be hard. Just like right now, the EFF is still battling with people calling it ANC light. They're still battling with that. The EFF are still battling with the fact that the ANC, people are calling it the ANC light, because the leadership of the economic freedom fighters come from the African National Congress. So guys, this is an interview with that new political party. I don't know the name of this political party, man. It is so hard. But I just know that this political party is led by General Moyo Motau. But I don't know the name of the political party. Man, let's listen. Let's all listen. Oh, sorry.
The party is called Africans Reclaim next year. The party is called Africans Reclaim.
It's Africa, Africans Reclaim. Africa, Africans Reclaim. Or they just want to be top of... Okay.
Its leader is General Moyo Motau, the former Chief of Defense Intelligence. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for welcoming us to your studio.
What does ARR mean? What is the story behind the name of your party?
Yes, the story behind the name of our party is that we have been members of the African National Congress for many, many years. Some of us joined the African National Congress in the mid-70s. Some of us joined in the late 70s. But we didn't join the African National Congress because of its name. We joined the African National Congress because of its political program. That political program is what attracted most of us to the African National Congress, not to other movements. It was a political program which was actually directed at making sure that our country gets freedom from colonialism. Our country should be able to make sure that all South Africans live in peace as equals in a prosperous country. But what has transpired through the years and now in the past 5 years has become worse is that our country is falling apart. The African National Congress has actually jettisoned the political program which the movement, the African National Congress, has been following for many, many years. And we therefore tried for the past 3-4 years to try and speak to the African National Congress leadership. We started in 2020 in September, speaking to the officials of the ANC, who actually asked us to write a document on the issues which we're raising. And we wrote a document which we came to call the African National Congress Turnaround Strategy 2025. That strategy we presented to the officials. They actually instructed us to say they need a broader meeting, and they convened the National Executive Committee Working Committee to meet us and get what we were saying. I can tell you the details of the number of meetings and so on, we are going to present during our launch, which is taking place on the 7th of October, which is next week, Saturday. We are going to deal with the details. But suffices to say that the African National Congress leadership failed totally to see the reasons behind what we were saying. And the African National Congress has been sliding away from our people. Today, the majority of our people are saying they are not going to participate in the elections of next year. They are no longer interested. That means our people are losing confidence in democracy. And therefore, we, as senior cadres of the African National Congress, we decided on a new strategy. Because these people were elected at conference. If you are going to force them out, they were going to take us to court. So we decided that the best way is to form another political party, which is going to take away the support of the ANC in a big way in the coming year.
But do you honestly think that your new political party is going to take support from the African National Congress? Man, how many months do we have right now before the elections? Because the elections, I think they're April, May. So how is Africans Reclaim going to do that in less than 8 months?
The elections. We want to believe that we are on the right course. We want to believe that our people, particularly the African people, are going to join us and support us on the route to try and better our country. Our country, everybody knows, I'm sure all South Africans will agree with us. This economy cannot grow because it's being sabotaged. Sabotaged in many ways. Sabotaged through load shedding, sabotaging through destroying infrastructure, whether it's water, road networks, the railways. This is clear sabotage. I'm not going to say apartheid was better, but we inherited from apartheid a working system. Our people, we should acknowledge that, messed it up. We are talking now of a situation where there is no manufacturing capacity being created. We are talking now about a country which is becoming an importing country.
And listening to General Moyo, man, listening to General Moyo, he makes a lot of sense, and I think he's not the only one who makes a lot of sense, man. I think right now, honestly, I think the problem lies with South Africans, man. It is no longer about the fact that the African National Congress is incompetent. It is no longer about that. The problem now lies with South Africans, man. The fact that South Africans, they don't want to participate, but at the same time they are okay with complaining about everything that is wrong right now in our country. I think maybe at this point we must focus on South Africans and the voters of this country, man, because it seems like right now the problem is ours, man. What General Moyo is saying is something that has been said a million times. It's not the first time that someone goes on a national platform and says what General Moyo is saying. But it seems like the problem right now, it's South African voters, the fact that a lot of South Africans, they don't want to participate, it is our problem. We are the ones who are responsible for the way our country it is right now. Because if we really cared about for our country, we would have voted out the ANC a long time ago. If we really cared about the future of this country. So I think right now we must admit that South Africans don't care about the future of this country. We don't care if this country collapses. We don't care about that. Because if we really cared about the future of this country, man, I swear, man, we would have voted the ANC a long time ago. But it seems like we don't care. We don't care. The problem now is with us, man. It's with us. People have already told us what is not working. We know what is not working. We live in this country. We know that every road there's a pothole. We know that every street there's a sewage. We know that the people, they don't have electricity. People, they don't have water. Children are still dying in pit toilets. Our education system is a shame. Our healthcare system is a shame. Our state-owned entity, all of these problems. The South Africans know about all of these problems. Even the average South Africans, they can tell you what needs to be done so that this country can go on the right path. But I think it's us, man. It has to be us. Honestly, it has to be us.
With all the resources we have, if you look around all the entry points of our country, take OR Tambo International, for example, going towards Pretoria, what do you see? You see that we are being prepared to be an importing country. You see that what is being built are not factories, it's warehouses. It's right. We can't allow that type of thing to happen. where a country is just being sabotaged. How do you expect development of an economy where there is load shedding almost every day? Where factories close because there is no electricity? And what do? As very brilliant South Africans, I guess, our coal is a problem when we use it for our own country. Therefore, that coal is seen as polluting and destroying the environment.
But these countries, the first world countries, are still using the coal. But South Africans has been told that, guys, you must take it down a notch. You know, you are wasting our system here. But the first world countries are still using the coal, are still buying the coal from South Africa. But South Africa has been told that, guys, look at this green energy thing, the green energy way. Like, this is the way that we should take as a country.
But when we send it to Europe, it becomes clean energy.
Facts.
So you see trucks and trucks. Our roads are chock-a-blocked because of trucks taking coal to Europe. And I've looked at statistics. Out of 25 countries, South Africa is said to be one of the greatest polluters, with 19 power stations, coal-fired power stations, coming from number 1 with over 3,000. Number 2, number 3, 4, 5 is in Europe, with over 300, over 500 power stations, coal-fired power stations. But South Africa with 19 and 14 working and 5 not working, it's said to be a major polluter. And we are buying that nonsense. We're buying that nonsense. And our factories are closing. That is a problem which we, as cadres of the African National Congress, decided. Look, it was not for the name. Let's leave this African National Congress and then take the ANC proper political program and make it our program which can save our people. Of course, we are not living in the 1955. We are in the 21st century. So even some of the things which our forebears were saying in 1955, some of them are dated. So we have tried to bring these things to the 21st century. That is why we came to that position.
Are you able to share some of the major policies in your founding manifesto with us?
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. This is the part that I want. You know, when they talk about the policies, this is the part that I like. Because, guys, honestly, me personally, I really love listening to political parties. When they talk about the policies, then I can see that, okay, maybe this political party can work better with this one. Or maybe they shouldn't have opened 2 separate political parties. These guys, they have the same values and the same value systems. So there's no need for these guys to open up 2 political parties, man. So I'm going to... sorry. It is going to be very interesting to hear the policies of Africans reclaim and try to listen or to spot how are they similar to other political parties.
Definitely, I'll tell you, the ones which are creating problems in our country, which are not going to be appreciated by very few minority, is the question of land. You can't have a country where only 1% of the population is responsible for producing food because they own the land. We are talking here about the fertile agricultural land. We are not talking about land in the towns. That is land which is open for being to speculations. People can buy and sell land in the cities and towns, but we are talking about that land which is lying fallow there, and somebody says it's my farm, we are saying we have to sacrifice. People have to sacrifice. We must make land available to all. That is very critical. The state must manage that. That's one important point which I wanted to make.
Please ask him if he believes in land expropriation without compensation or what, because I understand that he believes that the state should facilitate everything, but I don't know how is the state going to get that land. Are we going to get it without, are we going to expropriate it without compensation, or are we going to pay for it? I would really like to know, how.
The second thing is that, you see, the way South Africa has developed, I remember that Japan was a poor country in the 60s. I was a young man. I know the Japanese used to come to South Africa buying cameras and radios, and they became a powerful country moderns. The Koreans did the same. The Chinese did the same. I remember as a young man, we had in South Africa a company called Supersonic, which was producing radios. The Japanese bought it. We let go. Now, I'm saying we can't continue with an economy which is only exporting raw materials. Until when are we going to? Why are we not taking advantage of our endowments, mineral endowments? Look, let me show you something very, very frustrating. Here we have got iron, we have got platinum, we have got chrome, we have got everything. But I tell you, nobody owns the patent of an engine of a car. It was owned by the Ford family. South Africa exports this iron to Europe. They make a heavy block of engine, and bring it back to South Africa for us to buy. What is wrong with us? Can't we just actually produce these blocks of engine for these companies which want to sell us cars?
General is frustrated, guys. General is frustrated. He's not the only one. He's not the only one who's been asking these questions, man.
But tell them we are going.
The same thing goes with gold and all our mineral resources, man. He's not the only one who's been asking these questions.
To produce some of these parts. Why shouldn't we be able to do that? Of course, I'm very keen for a change, as our political program says. We have to change the education system in South Africa.
Fact.
We have to change it. How do we compete with China?
Oh.
How do we compete with Korea?
With 30%. We can't compete with these guys with 30%, man. We cannot compete with these guys on 30%. And it is shocking to know that an average 10 to 14-year-old, I think, if I remember the statistic correctly, an average 10 to 14-year-old, they cannot read or write in South Africa. A lot of people in South Africa, they can't read or write. It's because of this 30%. We can't read or write. There's no way. There's absolutely no way under Mmusi we can compete with China, man. There's absolutely no way. Our children under Mmusi they can compete with the Japanese and the Chinese, man. There's guys, we don't have a chance with Mmusi, man. Why? Because Mmusi is old. Mmusi is old, man. This system that they're using right now is not benefiting anyone.
How do we compete with Russia? How do we compete with any other country, with the Americans?
We can't.
With an education which takes mathematics and science as another thing which anybody can choose doing. How can you do that? We have got institutions here who have got big faculties of history which doesn't produce any commodity. We have got faculties which teach all manner of languages. And people get distinctions and get degrees. They are full there. 7 million youth in South Africa are unemployed. Out of that 7 million, 60% are graduate. Graduate in which field? Theology, language
teaching,
history, and they are unemployable. They are unemployable. So our education system needs to change. It needs to change, fundamentally change.
I mean, like, how can it change when you have, like, what, Blade Zimande? You have Blade Zimande, man, as the Minister of Higher Education. And you have Njimutera as the Minister of Basic Education. Man, we are starved as South Africans. We are starved. This is the reason why South Africans right now are working so hard, man, to take their children to Model C schools. We don't have hope, especially with these schools in the township. We don't have hope. There's no hope for us with these schools in the township, man.
Next thing, I was looking at a match where the Springboks lost. They lost the match against a small little country on the island of the UK. And you know why they lost? They lost because the majority of the players who were making a difference in Ireland are South Africans. They're South Africans. Now, imagine if it was a war, what would those South Africans be? Killing their own people in South Africa? Dual citizenship is not good for our country. I can go on and show you. And we have solutions. I can tell you, for example, the mining corporations which export coal must donate coal first to Eskom. And Eskom must be forced to open all the power stations. We cannot be made fools. We can't. We can't stand there and watch our country going down to the drain because we don't have solutions. We do have solutions. And if people come to our launch on Saturday the 7th, they'll get all what we are saying. And I have no doubt South Africans will support us. Of course, here and there, people are going to have a problem because I can imagine farmers, some of those who own tracts and tracts of land are not going to be very happy about it. But sacrifices have to be made for change. Change is painful. Change is painful. But we will all have to live here and make our country a better place to live in.
Guys, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? I'm ashamed to say, man, I'm sold. I'm sold, man. I am sold. What are your thoughts on what the general has been saying? Because I believe that he is not the first one to say all of these things that he's saying, man. Like, all of these things have been said like a million times.
General, how would your party address key issues like unemployment, job creation?
Yes, we have solutions.
But he just told you how. He just told you. With our mineral resources, he just said that.
I'll give you just one. We are saying there is no way. I told you 7 million youth, 60% graduates, they are not employable. You know? You are talking about these new generations where you are talking about artificial intelligence. You have left 7 million. The number will increase because others are still at school. And we said, let's not talk theory. Let's do practical things. And we are saying, you need to reskill these unemployed youth. And the only way you can do that is to have a national service where the youth will go and they are going to be taught discipline. We should not need to run away from it. I'm from a township now. There's no electricity, of course, there. That's why I moved to Morningside to do this interview. When you are there, you can see that we are creating criminals. They are unemployed. There is no hope. And we are saying a national service must be one of our creative way of starting to deal with unemployment And not only unemployment, but crime. Secondly, we're going to go with others, but let me give you this. We can't have our own business happy to employ foreigners because
cheap labor.
They might be cheaper. Cheap labor. And we just surrender ourselves to that. We're saying it is not going to be acceptable. Foreigners will come here. When we want them to come. Foreigners cannot own micro and small businesses. We can't. I mean, we are not Father Christmas for everybody. Of course, these things, we're going to force our neighbors. Perhaps if they can't take any other route, they must take our route. They must have the national service also. All these countries around us, they've passed laws which preclude foreigners from being in small and micro businesses. Only South Africa didn't do it.
Yeah. You know, if South Africa says anything, the media will be out there calling South Africans xenophobic. The media is working with corporate South Africa, because corporate South Africa loves the idea of people coming into South Africa illegally so that these people can work for them cheaply. So this is the reason why the media, whenever someone says anything about foreigners in this country, the first thing that the media is going to say is that people are xenophobic. This is a problem, man. It is a problem. Because right now, the media is colluding straight with the business, because what he said is the truth. The big business right now is preferring all of these illegal foreigners to come and work for them, because these guys, they don't have papers, they don't have nothing, so they can work cheaply, man. These guys, they can work half your salary as a South African. If you are a South African and you are expecting maybe, like, let's say 2,500, maybe man, someone who comes from Malawi or someone who comes from Lesotho, they will gladly take 1,500, or they will gladly take 1,000 rands. So big business, it works for them. This whole thing, like the issue that every South Africans are frustrated about when it comes to business, it's working for them. It's working very nicely for them. And they are telling their media guys that don't let anyone say anything. If anyone raises anything about foreigners in this country, if anyone says anything about illegal foreigners in this country, that person is xenophobic. And this is the media, and this is this is the image that the media right now has given South Africa, which makes it dangerous for South Africans to go out there in the world. Can you imagine, man, right now, like in average South Africa, I don't think an average South Africa can simply go to Nigeria and tell people that you come from South Africa. You know that if you go to Nigeria and start telling people that you come from South Africa, anything might happen to you. Why? Because our media said that South Africans are xenophobic towards these guys. So the media has actually given us, people of South Africa, a bad name. And they've actually made it dangerous for us as South Africans to go out there in the world. Because when you say you are from South Africa, the first thing that comes is like people say you are xenophobic. It is a problem, man.
Zimbabwe has done that. Botswana has done that. Including not only our neighbors, even Nigeria has passed that. We are the only ones. Because we are Father Christmas and our people are complaining. And if we face this serious crime, no, we can't do that.
We can't, man. We can't. We really can't do that, man. If we really want South Africa to move forward, man, we really have to be able to talk about uncomfortable conversation. If we can't have uncomfortable conversations as South Africans, man, there's no need for us to shout and say that we want a better country. Clearly, we don't want a better country, because if we want a better country, we have to have this uncomfortable conversation, just like the issue of land. We really have to have that kind of a conversation. It can't be that every time when someone says land, the first thing that people say is, whoa, don't say no. If we really want to move this country forward, we must start having these uncomfortable conversations.
General, would you venture a prediction as to the outcome of next year's elections?
Yes. We are going to win.
of next year's elections?
Yes, we are going to win.
Facts. Tell him, General. Tell him.
We are going to win.
Tell him.
The overwhelming majority in this country have lost confidence in the formal and leading parties in this country. They have lost confidence. I'm not the only one who says that. If I go to the ANC, go to the DA or EFF, they are all looking forward to rule by coalition government. Because they know they are not going to win outright. The Secretary General of the ANC, actually, I don't know, I didn't expect a Secretary General of an organization to stand up in public and say, those who believe they will win and get 40-something%, they are sick. He himself predicts 30% for the ANC. I think it's reasonable. It's reasonable.
Is reasonable.
They are going to get less than that. They're going to get less than that.
So General thinks the African National Congress is going to get less than 30%.
The DA is no longer going to get that 20% they believe in. They will not get it. EFF will not grow. After our launch, most of the small parties are going to fold.
Yes.
Because most of these parties don't have programs, political programs, which can address the situation.
Tell them, General.
Which we face. They don't have. They don't have solutions. The ANC is talking about priding itself for actually bringing grade R to primary school. Fairwood did that. I went to primary school. I started with sub A, sub B before I started standard 1. So, these are the things that they continue telling us we'll grow the economy and create jobs. How? The manufacturing industry is shutting down. The mining corporations are laying off the workers. How are they going to do it?
They don't have a plan.
None of them has got a solution. Some of them are reciting ideologies. The DA recites ideology. Privatize. Well, privatizing a country which is in this serious problem. Solve the solution. The ANC stands there and say, oh, no, land expropriation without compensation, my food. Where would they get any court which will support them when they expropriate? For the coming 50 years, they will not expropriate, not even a single farm, not even a single. That's our position.
Man, General Moyo is my favorite politician. General Moyo is my new favorite politician, man. I'm telling you, I'm dropping all of these political parties from now. Thomas Mabaso is a new member of Africans Reclaim. Man, I'm a new member, man. Someone please tell General Moyo, man, you got a new member, man. General Moyo says land expropriation without compensation, my food. How can you pride yourself with taking grade R to primary schools? Fairfoot did that. Guys, please tell me what you think, man, on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time, man. Bye-bye.